Hello students, I ended my tutorial audio presentation with a question that was related with Doris, and that was also related with that famous dialogue that haven't you prepared my tea ready and haven't you ironed my yellow silk dress, so that you can remember it. Now in this audio presentation I will discuss the last one. One more question was left that I haven't discussed in my previous audio presentation. I want to discuss it right now. The question is, and here I quote, I was yelling at your jokes before you were born. What does this mean? What sent Doris into tears on hearing this? Now, after hearing this, why was Doris so much unhappy? What was the reason behind it? Why Doris, after listening to this, why Doris was so much unhappy? Mrs. Fitzgerald, as Mrs. Pearson, had a low regard for the kind of jokes that Doris and Cyril cracked at their age. Now, she told very frankly that I don't hold a high opinion related with the jokes, bantering, and laughter that you and your brother are engaged in, because to me all these things are very cheap and very low in mentality. She liked them behave more mature and behaved as grown ups. She wanted them to act in a very mature manner and to behave as grown ups. The intended sense is, as a mother, Mrs. Pearson had laughed at the funny moments that Doris made in her uterus. Now, the important thing is that Mrs. Pearson told Doris that I am your mother, and the banter and the jokes you are all involved in, all these are inferior in quality. And it seems that these things are also cheap. So he urged both of them to be more responsible. Firstly, they wanted them to be self-reliable, independent, and never to depend on anyone for anything. And she wanted them to grow up properly. And another and the most important thing is that the intended sense is, as a mother, Mrs. Pearson had laughed at the funny moments that Doris made in her uterus. Now, that was the reason why Doris cried. Because of this particular statement that she told, I laughed at the funny moments that you made in my uterus before you were born. So, that was the significance of this line. I was yelling at your jokes before you were born. So that was it, dear students. That actually ended because this part was left that I haven't discussed in my audio presentation in my previous lecture 1. So I have discussed it right now. Listen to it, and if there is any problem, please ask me. Thank you, students. Thank you all.